Coors Light, Whiskey Round Table. Oh, Greg, Karen, and the Whiskey Wizard talking facts and tastings. They've got you covered. Whiskey Round Table. Oh.
Welcome to the Whiskey Roundtable. We are your hosts,
Big G,
Karen Helen Keller.
Doug Dunbar,
and
Jennifer Boggs.
yes, Jennifer Boggs.
All right.
Yes, for
In the
ladies'
house.
night. Yes,
Jennifer in the house.
it's lady night. It's ladies' night on our 12th show of the year.
There's ladies here?
Yeah.
Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, somewhere.
I was thinking more like princesses.
Okay.
Oh, nice save. Nice save.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, my goodness.
How's everybody doing? You have a good week?
No. But anyway, it was a rough week. It was a different kind of week, man. It really was different. It really was different.
It was a rough week at work. The weather was so crappy. All it did was rain. It was
Yeah, it's cold and wet. That's spring weather in Ohio. It's not going to warm up till next week, but nobody cares about the weather. So
No, that's
I mean,
true.
nobody listening wants to hear about it.
No, not at all.
Listen to think.
Do a little nice little pre-game.
Yeah,
whiskey.
we are pre-gaming some Tom's Foolery. This is the store pick, Cleveland Bourbon Co-op, Ohio Straight Bourbon. That's what we're doing today.
It's got a little Chief Wahoo on the bottle.
That's it.
Whose pick is that?
Cleveland Bourbon Co-op. There we go.
All right.
It's very, very tasty.
I just picked up my bottle today, so they're one per person, and so I just got my bottle today. So
Cool.
So
There it
I
is, kids.
threw it
There it
on
is.
our Whiskey Roundtable page on
you share it with the-
Facebook, and I gave my perception of the notes of it. I said it was nutty with grassy on the nose, grassy notes.
That's a nice way to say it.
Taste is peppery sweet with
Yep.
a medium finish. That's my opinion.
Yep,
I would say that's very
Yeah.
accurate.
I would
Pretty
say
accurate. Pretty
I would say,
accurate.
yep,
Look
and,
at
and
you
good.
go.
Good job, Karen.
Hey,
Very
did I say that it's ladies' night?
It is ladies' night,
Message received.
and the feeling's
Yes.
right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's ladies' night. Oh, what a
no.
night!
Are you gonna start dancing, honey? Shake that money maker, honey. Shake it.
Honey, I'm only worth about $40 now.
Hey. I know this may be the whiskey talking, but I really, really like whiskey.
You got issues. The wizard's got issues.
You see
Well,
his
that's why he's
shirt?
got so many glasses over there.
I know. Look at you.
Speaking of,
Yeah. Would you like some
want a
Tom's
refill?
Foolery?
yeah, I'll try that.
All right,
I'll
let me
try that
pass
more.
that down
That
Let me pass that on down.
gotta have that Chief Wahoo
That's good. Yep.
bottle.
Very good. I haven't really,
Why?
no disrespect, I haven't really bought anything
Rest in Chief.
with the Cleveland Bourbon Co-op,
That's great.
for a while, just for no reason, just not, but getting back into it. I've been getting some stuff now, so that's cool. Here, let me have a little bit of
Pass
that.
that.
So it's 107.26 proof,
Amen.
which for me that's kind of high proof, but I like
It
it.
is.
I'm actually on my second pour. So, good pick, guys. Great job.
Yeah.
This is so good, I might be hungover tomorrow.
Oh no! What do you always tell me? Oh, we got an early morning.
We have an
got
early
lots to
morning.
do. You can't be all fuckered up. Did that sound like him?
That's only your rule.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Done, Cam.
Come again, baby. But yeah, no, it's very, very good.
Nick
great,
Trudick
great.
is out there. He says, "Come
Nick.
on, hurry up."
All
Get
right,
on with
sorry
it."
kids. Sorry kids. All right, let's go. Let's get on to this whiskey show. What do we got going? Let's do it.
Anything new this week you need to talk about? I'm almost afraid to ask you after last week's setup and
Oh. Yeah. No, nothing new. Just,
okay. Poor Doug. I think I embarrassed him last week. I'm not doing that again.
No, it's been a quiet week, so
Good. That's sometimes a good thing.
yeah.
Jen, what have you been up to?
Oh, I've been all over the place, actually. So worked in. Of course, I work in Findlay. Then I've been in Florida. Then I had to work in Cincinnati, and now I'm here. So I've been all over everywhere.
And doing a little bourbon shopping along the way.
Maybe a little. So when I go to Cincinnati to work, which I luckily get to do fairly regularly, I always stay in Covington. So
Covington, nice
yeah.
place.
So of course there's like one guy that owns all the liquor stores in Covington, but still fun to run around there and be in Kentucky and shopping for breakfast.
Last time you were here for the show, and we did the clam bake. You had some great scores.
I did.
We worked that out quite well. So
Yeah.
I was calling everybody. I was calling all my contacts. You got this? Put it aside.
Right?
But you did. You did good.
I did really well.
Yeah, good
And I
for
get to
you.
go back to Minneapolis, so that's where I, brought home the the suitcase full of bourbon. So
There you go.
let's
Nice.
hope let's
And
hope we can score again.
thank you for the bottle as well.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
absolutely.
So I'm gonna send you home with an equal bottle. So I'll grab it tomorrow. We'll be on the way. I think we're gonna do breakfast tomorrow. No kids?
Yes.
Okay. So
A
I'll
late
stop at the
breakfast.
Okay. I have to be somewhere at like 1 o'clock.
Well,
so-
11. Is it 11?
Yeah, 11 o'clock?
11
Okay, 11 o'clock. All right,
Perfect.
well, I'll bring it. It's
More
already
like a
boxed.
brunch.
Already
Brunch,
boxed.
yeah.
Ooh,
Thing, I'll
Bloody
give it to you.
Marys
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Thank you.
Oh, okay.
She said, Shauna said, what are you wearing for breakfast? Or what are you wearing tomorrow? And I said, well, another t-shirt.
Long pants and long shirt.
You don't
It's
have a
supposed to be cold
collared
tomorrow.
shirt for brunch?
Why are you so
I thought
racist?
it was breakfast.
Why are you so
No, it's
racist?
Brunch.
We can wear a color shirt.
I don't know I don't know when breakfast becomes brunch, but I guess if it's 11
Oh,
o'clock,
collar shirt.
it's
I'm
brunch.
sorry. I apologize.
I'm sorry, Doug. We're over here. He needs to be.
We're having our own.
reprimanded.
We're having our own party over here.
I was just wearing a hoodie. Is that okay? Are we going
Oh
somewhere
my
fancy?
goodness!
Please forgive Greg. He was out and
I
about
don't think
Don't
it's-
today.
forgive me
Okay,
about
all
nothing.
right, good.
I mean, it's what's the name of it? It's 17 River Grill.
Where's that at? Is that in Sugar?
It's right on the waterfall. Like you overlook the waterfall.
Oh, that's the old. Yes, nice place.
Yeah.
By the way, very nice
Okay,
place.
cool.
Shoot,
good.
I can't think of the name
So
of
be ready, because we're going to be there about 11 o'clock tomorrow, people.
it. It'd be like, I need another Bloody Mary. Too funny. But all right, well, let's get on with this show.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so what
so
are
are
you
we-
smoking?
I'm smoking a CEO Brasilia. That's what I'm smoking. Full Maduro cigar, very strong. Off the top of my head,
Very
because
dark wrapper.
it is a very dark wrapper, but that's what I'm smoking. Very, very good cigar. They were talking about CEO was talking about getting rid of these, but we had apparently they had an influx of, what are you talking about, Willis, and they decided to keep them. So, and I'm glad they did.
Good.
So,
Good. Yeah, because that's one of your favorites. I know
Yeah.
whenever I'm out and about picking him up, something's like, get me a CAO.
So if you remember correctly, Karen, like years ago, I not only smoke a lot of cigars, but I collect cigars as well. So, and I had just scored 2 great boxes of some cigars that are obsolete for retail price, and I couldn't pass them up. But if you remember correctly, they said that they were no longer going to make these cigars, and I happened to one of the cigar online companies that I deal with on occasion. They had a closeout sale, so everything was 50% off. So I bought 6 boxes of them, and probably over a year and a half, I smoked every one of them.
Nice.
So, and then they said, "Well, we changed our mind. We're gonna keep making them." I'm like, "Oh, you fuckers!" But anyway.
So did they
We
up the
got
price?
50% off.
well,
Alright.
50%.
I think
There you
I think it was all promo, is what I think it was.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Like a
I see your
ballot
bottle
store.
standing up like a prom date over here. But anyway,
What are you talking about?
I see your bottle standing up like a prom date. Anyway, go ahead. What we got?
That's because we poured some out of it.
Whatever.
Pretty sure, yeah. So anyway,
You see the shoe it's in,
but
right?
that's okay. That's good. Hey, but since we're talking about the bottle, why don't we go to the? Should we go to the
What?
bottle?
Bottle cam?
There's a bottle
cam.
cam?
Bottle cam.
Get the
cam.
hell
Hey
out of
everyone,
Here it
it's
comes.
time for the
Right
bottle
now.
Let's do
cam.
it.
The bottle cam.
Who are those 3 good-looking kids? Oh yeah.
That's right. Keep calm and drink bourbon.
Oh my goodness.
Well, from
That's
Tony
their-
Montana in the
That's
beginning.
their slogan. Who can argue with that, right?
Karen, I was looking at those bobblehead dolls. It looks like that you lost a lot of hair.
Did I?
Yeah, I'm here on the far right here. Oh wait, that's mine. Okay, never mind. Sorry, kids. All right, I'll just shut up. Go on.
We can only hope. We can only hope.
So tonight we're tasting the Kentucky Par 12-year-old.
Kentucky Par 12.
I'm not sure. Is there another one, or is it just?
You know, I didn't.
Kentucky
I
Par
didn't
12, is
see
that-
there was any others right
Yeah,
now, but
I
it's
mean-
relatively making a comeback, a new comeback. So,
Yeah.
I think
It's
that's the only one available.
it's refounded.
Refounded.
Yes.
Yep. And I will talk a little bit about that when I go into some information about Kentucky Par. Are we ready for that? Do we want to just
Yeah,
jump
let's-
right into it?
Jump
Yeah,
into it.
I
Let's
want to
do it.
hear about it.
Jump into it.
Okay, so I will have to apologize because it is new. It just came out last year in 2020, again. So I think they're still getting their stories together on the website and bringing it back. But it originally, if you trace this back, it started from the Stitzel Brothers Distillery in 1872. So the Stitzel name, for those of you that are familiar with bourbons and whiskeys, may sound very familiar to you. There were three brothers back at the time. Philip is the one brother who is probably the best known.
Okay.
He was part of a trio with Alex Farnsley and Julian Van Winkle.
Oh, I've heard
Okay.
I've heard that name before.
Once or twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was a Jack Daniels product or something. Anyway, go ahead.
Or Jim Beam, I don't know.
Old Black Velvet, maybe?
Whoa,
Something.
I think it was Black Velvet. Anyway, go ahead.
Anyway, so they did start up such brands as Pappy Van Winkle, Weller, and Old Fitzgerald. The brother Frederick wasn't too shabby either. He did something that revolutionized the whole whiskey aging process. He developed and patented the barrel ricking system to store the barrels in the rick houses. And that's used around the world today.
Awesome.
Jacob is kind of where we go and we drift off into the Kentucky Par story. So he sold the Stitzel Brothers Distillery in 1908. He changed the name to Glencoe. And he ran the distillery until his death in 1913. And
Glencoe, that almost sounds like a good Scotch name.
yes, it does, doesn't it? I was thinking the same thing. But he ran that distillery until 1913 when he passed, and he turned it over then to his son, Frank H. Stitzel. And Frank started the Kentucky Parfait Company, and that is still in Louisville. And he started out by creating and bottling soft drinks, which here in Cleveland we call it pop. So his pop
Well,
was
isn't it
Kentucky
everything down
Parfait.
south is a Coke,
A Coke,
no matter
yeah.
what it is?
Yep. Got
Yeah.
any Coke? What we got? Yeah. You get a Pepsi, whatever.
Get a Mountain Dew and a
Yeah.
Sprite. Here's a root beer.
How about a
Yeah, you
root
could be
beer?
drinking a Pepsi and they go, "Oh, you having a Coke?"
No, pull your pants up. I'll get you a root beer. All right. Y'all in the country right now. You ain't the city boy.
But what was really common is right before and during Prohibition, if you were in the Louisville area, you would go to the bar and you would ask for a Kentucky Parfait with or a Kentucky Parfait without. With meant the bartenders would spike it up with a little liquor, whatever they had behind the bar at the time, which was usually bourbon.
Oh,
Without, it was just straight virgin Kentucky Parfait.
There ain't no virgins down there.
Not
So-
after you left.
with was probably more
Oh,
popular.
you stupid now.
They probably sold a lot more of those.
So after Prohibition, this is what Doug and I were talking about. I was trying to connect. How did it go from the Stitzel brothers to the Radfords? But after Prohibition, W.A. Radford bought the Parfait Company. And his daughter, Beth, she says Prohibition was the stupidest thing ever.
Yes.
Right? But her dad used to, at the time, write prescriptions. He was a doctor. Used to write prescriptions and use the whiskey for medicinal purposes.
They call that snake oil, right?
That physicians were quite popular back then
Yes,
for
they
that
were.
purpose.
I think it's broken.
Oh shit! Can't go to work today.
Some medicinal
Got a problem with my eyes. Can't see myself going to work.
Medicine. Okay.
So anyway, when Prohibition
My sniffer's good. Go ahead.
when Prohibition was over, Beth had built up quite her share of whiskey bourbon barrels. So what she did is she started selling them off, and they used the profits from her selling them off to start up Kentucky Par.
Ah.
So this is a good story, appropriate
an awesome
for
story.
Ladies' Night here on the Whiskey Roundtable.
Sure.
It is. There is a little connection
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
See, Doug's always bringing us back. He's so
Oh
good.
yeah. So we owe a lot to Beth. Well, we don't know that until we try
don't
it. But,
She faked a lot of sickness during Prohibition, so we have her to thank for this. So after World War II, the Kentucky Parfait Distillery was then changed to the Radford Company, and over the next 30 years or so, they distributed different liquors such as Old Crow, Tanqueray, Cutty Sark. Didn't we all,
Wow.
our parents all have a bottle
Wow,
of Cutty
they
Sark
did.
on the
They
shelf
did.
when we were growing up?
yes,
They did.
Yeah, or Jane B.
Yes.
That was the other one. One or
They
the
did.
other. Yeah.
Yes. So C.S. Radford is the gentleman that brought us back the Kentucky Par. And in 2015, when his father passed away, he was cleaning out his dad's desk. And he came across a pint of the Kentucky Par. And the tax stamp on it said it was put up, is their words, in the fall of 1936.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I think
That's
it's,
amazing.
I don't know if
Wow.
it was in the first bottle can, but in one of them, you'll see that original label that they had on that bottle that he pulled out of his grandfather's drawer. So
Oh.
Hope he didn't open it.
I don't know. I don't think it even
It
said
didn't
anything.
say. It didn't say if he did.
Just said they found it in the drawer, and that basically was what launched them into this endeavor to re-found the brand.
Right. He
Probably
thought-
in the receptionist door. But anyway, go ahead. Whatever, go ahead.
So anyway, he saw it. He's like, hey, this would be a great idea to bring it back. So here to present day, here we are with the Kentucky Par. So it says every bottle in the first new batch of Kentucky Par carries the date of 4/20/20 on the neck label, which I don't know if that one does.
Wow.
I didn't even look at that, believe it or not.
We will at some point.
We'll check it out.
Awesome.
So that was the month that they pulled the barrels from the Rick House. So if you don't
Okay.
see a bottle of Kentucky Par straight bourbon whiskey on the top shelf at your local watering hole, ask them to order a bottle for you.
So I told you the story a little bit beforehand. I picked this up at Cork Dorks in downtown Nashville, and I just asked. I said, "Show me your special whiskeys," and they escorted me to the back. And in a case, they had this with about 20 other whiskeys, and I asked him how much that one there is, and I was expecting it to be
Right.
a lot more
Right.
because I just never seen it, and so
Right.
I just decided on a chance to buy it. So,
What was the price? What's the price?
it was like 145 with tax, something like that. So,
Okay.
I mean, it
That's-
was obviously not enough to deter me from trying something potentially special. So I have no idea, and I've just kind of been excited from things I've read and
Sure.
try it. So
Sure.
we'll see. That's why we're here.
That's right. But you spent that much on it. Let's all pretend that's really good.
And yeah, exactly.
That means
It
it's
could also be a
that's a
disappointment.
$16 bottle. But anyway,
Well, the last couple of weeks, and we've had the Dickles, and
right.
Yeah.
which are very good for
We
the
all-
money, and so anyway, we are kind of going to have to put it to the test here.
We always say that price doesn't dictate quality.
Not
Right.
well. I would say it doesn't
That
necessarily.
is the truth.
I would probably say it generally has some correlation.
I got a half a
but, yeah.
dozen bottles on that bar that I wouldn't feed the dog. They're so bad.
Yeah,
And
those
they
are
were
the
all
ones,
like
are those the ones
$100
you're giving
bottles.
to Tony? To-
That's what. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tony, drink that shit up.
That's how you got Kentucky out.
I got something else I want you to try. You're gonna love it.
And he's gonna pretend to.
That'd be great, G. Then you'll be driving home tonight. He'll look at you and be like, "What is
Yeah, I mean, I have. So
I read this on their site. Excuse
Go
me,
ahead, go ahead,
It
go ahead.
turns out, in this, because what is it tonight?
ladies' night?"
Yes, it says that it turns out that women aged 25 to 35 are some of Kentucky Par's biggest fans, especially the high-octane barrel-proof lovers.
Right
So
in my
whatever
age
that-
range. Look at
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
Who did that study?
78 to 80.
You're calling people up
I'm
the butts
sure
of
Kentucky
bone?
Par commissioned an extensive study,
Yes.
peer-reviewed.
You walk in the bar at 21, you leave at 45.
Yeah.
I just wrote that. I'm here all night, kids.
What do you expect? This is the Whiskey Roundtable.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, so back to the whiskey. It is 100 proof even. And the mash bill is 74% corn, 18% rye, and 8% malted barley.
Oh, that sounds
Very
good. That
Bourbon
sounds
Man's
good.
bourbon.
That sounds like a good
Yeah.
spaghetti sauce right there.
Yeah.
That's a spicy
Hey, that's a
meatball.
spicy meatball. Yeah.
So, and it
Okay.
is naturally aged for 12 years in deep charred American oak barrels, and it's bottled and non-chill filtered at 100 proof.
Okay.
So let's pass this sucker out.
Let's pass it out, kids. There you go, dear.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jen.
Oh, I shouldn't have made that trip over to Eric's house, but anyway.
So the color is very bourbon.
It is. It is. It's dark. What do you say? 4 char? 5 char?
Yeah, I'm guessing a 3, 4.
4
I
char
would
for
say-
sure.
But of course, 12 years, it could be less char because you got to consider the
Man, that
age.
smells nice.
Got to consider the age.
All right, I got to get my act together.
Oh, okay.
All right.
That is really sweet
It
on
is.
the nose. And I don't know if it's just because I've been drinking something else prior to this, but to me it's sweet.
Oh, definitely.
On toothbrush?
No, I just want to cleanse my palate.
I got some tropical fruit out of this for
All right,
sure.
can I just give you a shout out?
Sure.
Okay. All right. I apologize, because Scott Royblatt is watching as well. He
21
says
staves.
21
Scott.
Staves, one of our greatest
One of
sponsors.
our good sponsors.
Kentucky Par is one of my favorites. 99 to 125 in Kentucky. So again,
So you didn't get-
I didn't get ripped
You didn't get
off.
yeah.
You didn't get
You didn't
ripped
get
off.
your pants.
I maybe
pulled down,
didn't get
so
the
that's
best
good.
possible price.
All right, man. Cool. Awesome. Awesome.
Nice. Nice.
Me and
I just
Scott.
got a little on my shirt
me-
so
me-
I can nose it later.
We're
It's very similar.
we're trying to
the
put something
purple.
together. Me and Scott are. I'm trying to hook him up with something, and he's at some point here that I would assume in the next month that I think Scott will be on the show. So I'm looking forward to that. Very knowledgeable guy, just a good person. But anyway, always enjoy having him around. And his company's
Absolutely.
fantastic. If you ever look up 21 Staves, check them out, kids. Good stuff. I bought a lot of their products, and they're all fantastics. And actually, I just put an order in for another batch. So, thanks, Scott. I appreciate you.
Sweet.
Thank you.
Thanks for being a sponsor.
Yes.
So I get honey. I get some like mango. I get a little cherry.
He
The
took
first three
words
things
right
that
out
you
of your
said, you
mouth.
took the words right out
Really?
of my mouth.
Yeah, I mean, it's
I
pretty-
saw me. I'm like,
To me, it's pretty obvious. I mean,
I get all that.
Well, I get that, but then it's kind of like, I call it wet grass. Or
Yeah,
wet
yeah, I
dog,
get that- I
you call
get that
grass,
earth out of it. I
but
get it.
Yeah,
I
that's
do.
what you kind of
But
get.
what he just said, I got almost in order. I don't know if you guys saw me. I was like, because I almost said the same thing he just said.
Yeah.
kind of flowery,
Yeah.
too, though, at
Yeah.
the back end.
which I
Like,
always
like
like on the nose if I get some of that floral kind of stuff going on.
that's what I'm getting. I'm
I get a
getting
little
lot
bit
of
of that
floral
for
on it.
sure,
Yeah.
and that's
Man, that's nice.
I don't really want it on the,
Was
the
it
palate so
100
much,
proof?
but I
100
like
proof?
it on
100
the
proof.
Yeah.
100 proof even.
Wow. Not even a bottled and bond. Okay.
It's
It's beautiful.
Well, can it be bottled and bond if it's?
I mean, so the
if
years.
it's a blend.
Yeah, I don't
Or
know.
it's yeah.
I don't want to get into all that.
Yeah.
Leave it alone. Smell like cologne. Leave it alone. Smell like fish. Make it a dish. Okay.
Oh, dear Lord.
I think single distillery if it's bottled and bond, but
I like it. It's
I'm
got a
ready- I'm
great
ready to
nose.
drink it.
Okay,
It's-
so let me read the
Ooh,
notes.
I just love that.
So I got a couple notes. The actual
Man.
Kentucky Par website says it's sweeter up front with balanced corn and grain aromas immediately apparent. You were talking about grassy, Jen.
Yeah.
And then I also
Could be
got
grain.
sweet honey, bright fruits like mango, cherry, light oak, toffee. Nothing too wild. Nice hint of tropical fruits. And not too oaky for the years.
No, there's. I don't.
I think
I don't
it-
get. I'm not
I
getting
don't
get
any. Which
Yeah.
on a 12-year bourbon, I kind of expect a little oak, wouldn't you?
I would hope so.
So maybe it's on the palate. We'll see.
All right,
Shall
guys.
we?
Let's do it, man. Let's get it.
Shall we palate this baby?
Scott, I understand that this being your favorite. Very smooth.
Yeah.
Initially, very smooth on the tongue.
Man, I get orange out of it. Believe it or not, I get black licorice.
At the end. Mm-hmm. At the back end.
I mean, that's just my
Anise.
palate, but it might be the cigar. But I get that orange. I get that black licorice. It's
It's got. I still get that kind of fruitiness. More. I do get some oak on the palate. More vanilla.
I get
I
the
still
oak.
I still get maybe like some pepper, black
Yeah,
pepper.
yeah.
For my palate, that's pretty good.
You know, I usually say a short or a long finish. I'm going to say it's a medium finish. It hangs for a quick minute. It's not short, but it's not long either. But yeah, you know, you talk about your pepper. I don't get the oak, but I get the dryness of the oak, if that
Yeah.
makes sense to you. But
Well, there's you got
it's
wood in there
it's
for
good.
sure.
It's good. I like it.
Which I think is what accounts for the vanilla that we get. But yeah, I mean, for me, this is great.
It's nice.
I don't like a bourbon that's too sweet, but so this is, I would say, on the dry side, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely dry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially on the backing. Dry.
What
Like
was that?
All right, wait.
But it's,
do.
but it's
We're not
good
going to
though
expect
too.
it. I
Well, you know,
trust we're
I
not going to
like
get a
the
high
very-
score from
I
Jen.
really like that high. I like oak, right? But
Yeah.
it's very
I know
right.
you
It's
do, you
fruity
do.
and florally. It's not bad. I mean, it's not like I need to pour this back in the bottle, right?
Right.
But it's good.
It is
And
good.
it's a
I
little
agree.
spicy, but then you do get a little bit of sweet.
Just pass
at the
it
end.
this way.
Well, we're
I'm not gonna not drink
man,
it.
I get a finish of orange. I mean, that total.
Yeah.
I get a lot of
I'm
orange.
getting a lot of
with it,
orange
too,
out of
yeah.
it. It's good, and yeah, you get that heat, you get that pepper, if you will, that spice. I don't get the oak, but I get the dryness of the oak. Yeah, I think I like it. I do. I like it. It's good, and I'm not a heat guy, so
I'm gonna say something that you guys haven't said, and it's
ahead.
almost like a leathery kind of taste to it.
Pleather.
Pleather.
leather. Oh my god!
So,
I remember those.
not leather, but plastic.
I was a Michael.
Imitation.
I was a Michael Jackson fan. I remember
It
that.
was
leather.
big in the 80s, yeah. No, I do get a little bit of that. Like sometimes I hear people say it tastes leathery, and I don't usually taste that, but that's what I get on
Yeah,
this
you
one.
do. Yeah.
So, can I be rude and interrupt the show? I'm gonna give that to Tony, and I want him to try it and give some of that to Sean.
Yeah,
if you
no,
don't
go
mind.
right ahead.
So I apologize.
I meant to ask you guys if
We,
you get any, and then
Yeah, so if you are, if you come and even participate and be part of the audience here on the Whiskey Roundtable, you do get to partake.
absolutely.
Tony, right? Did I get it right?
Yes, you got it.
All right, I apologize.
No, his name's Fred.
Fred.
How did I know this?
Fred, I've only met you twice, but anyway.
Well, you know, you're Italian, so
Let's
Tony's
stay.
hard to remember.
Tony, listen, hey.
Everybody's a Tony.
Tony,
and
let me
Frankie at
teach you
the
some
show.
Italian. Let me teach you some Italian. You ready? I'm going to tell you something in Italian, and I want you to repeat it. You ready?
Sure.
Get in the trunk.
But you know, this is one of the ones though. And this is a lot with a
hope
lot
you
of
got a big
bourbons. It
trunk.
gets better the
I
more
do.
you drink it, right?
Yeah.
'Cause- so
Well, yeah. it's not 100 proof. It's not high proof really, but that's typically what I find.
Well, because you just get more of the flavor the more you go.
It takes a few more sips to really warm up to all of what's going on. But
I will say when I first took that sip, it was really silky, satiny, smooth on the tongue.
Yeah.
Very,
It's
very
not rough.
nice.
Yeah.
No, it was very smooth. It was very hard for me to explain. That's the best I can think.
No worries.
But yeah, I think it's great. I like
It's
it.
great. Yeah,
it's good.
I like it. I would have a bottle
It's got a cool,
in my bar.
cool history.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So
That certainly doesn't suck.
it certainly doesn't suck. Absolutely. So here, the palate, hints of oak and tobacco, apple pie, caramel, soft brown sugar, and a hint of pepper follows.
I got some pepper.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What else?
Another place I got the palate from, rich on the palate, nice and sweet with lots of toffee, vanilla, banana bread,
I'm not getting banana. I don't get sweet
Not getting that
on
either.
this.
mango.
It's I would say it's like the tomfoolery. It's very dry.
Yeah.
It is dry.
I
I
don't-
agree.
I'm
I agree
not
it's
getting.
dry.
I would not call this a sweet bourbon.
No,
So
not at all. I agree.
if that's what you like, as a if that's what you're in for, a sweet bourbon, this is not probably the one for you. I wouldn't say.
No, I don't think it's sweet either. And the only thing I'm thinking, like, is it because it's so smooth on the initial hit? Maybe some people think that's sweet. I don't know.
Definitely some
think it's
fruit, but it's more of a dry fruitiness, and then some vanilla.
It's definitely
and some
dry.
pepper. That's how I would.
So
taste.
I mean, like I said, I don't get the oak, but I get the dryness.
yeah.
Right.
Okay, if that makes sense. to
It
you.
totally
So-
makes sense.
So, but yeah, no, it's you know what, it's good. It really
Before we
is.
get on to scoring, I think it's time for one more look. Why don't we send the bottle
Just
cam in
one.
one more time for the audience?
Oh, sorry, I gotta find it. Here
Oh,
we go.
shoot.
All right,
Um,
coming at ya.
coming
Look
at
at
ya.
that
Hey
neck.
everyone,
See if
it's
that
time for the
everything is
bottle
on.
cam. The bottle
Apparently,
cam.
it's not on there.
It's coming.
Oh, take your time.
The Terry Bradshaw.
Terry Bradshaw.
See,
Look.
that's why I'm turned this way. Trying to get this knob.
Oh, nice.
What did you think?
Keep calm and drink
Keep
bourbon.
calm and drink bourbon. It's over there. Okay, Rich.
All right. Yeah. so-
Rich, Karen and Frank's neighbors on. He's watching. He says I'm here.
Nice.
Hey,
Hi,
Rich.
brother. Nice to see you.
Welcome.
I will never try to pronounce Rich's last name, but he's on the show. Great guy. We've been having a lot of fun together. But anyway, we're putting a project together, and we're getting to the nitty gritty. So we're excited. So
We have Kayla
Rich,
out there watching.
Rich,
too.
thanks for watching. Kayla, thanks
Sorry,
for
we have
watching.
Kayla out there
What do we got on the
watching, too.
screen? What do we got on the
It's
scroll?
a quiet night
Is
tonight.
it a quiet night? What's
It
Nick?
is
Is
a
Nick still
quiet
on?
night.
That's because it's ladies' night. Everybody's well behaved.
Oh my goodness!
Right.
Please.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, it's it's a quiet
Karen's well
night.
behaved.
Okay,
I'm well
okay.
behaved. Right.
Right.
All right.
Please.
The model of good behavior.
Okay, so the finish. Sure, why not?
What fun is that?
The finish, nice finish, medium in duration,
Yeah.
pleasant. Heat is behaved, and the fruity parade continues.
That is totally accurate.
Yeah.
Some oak, mostly vanilla, mango, toffee, and a hint of pepper.
And I said it's not long, it's not
Yeah.
short. It's
Right.
in the middle. So
I'm
there
not
you
getting any. I'm not getting any oak.
Yeah. All right. Awesome.
But I know what you mean about it is dry.
Right. It's dry.
It's dry
Definitely
in the
dry
back
in
of the
aftertaste.
tongue, yeah.
And it's not a short finish at all, but it's not a long finish.
Right.
So
Does that make it an average finish?
that's an average finish.
Okay.
Okay.
All
But-
right.
It's how do you medium long? I'm trying to.
Well, I would just say it's in the middle. Right? I
medium
mean,
short.
I feel like this could take a bad turn if we keep
Oh.
talking about it.
Everything could.
Right?
Just how long
Oh
we
my
stick.
That's
with
why
it.
it's fun to come here.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Well, for scoring,
Yep.
let's go with Big G first today.
I'm going to go with a solid 3.65.
3.65. Nice, respectable score. And, boy, that's amazing. So,
Any
That's amazing.
comments?
No comments. I think we beat it up good, and
Yeah.
Well, not beat
I-
it up, but
no, I
you
don't
said
mean
enough.
that. I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm
Right.
just saying we beat up good, and I think that I would say, probably 80% of what I talked about with it. I think I was right on. So, I got a lot. I got licorice out of it, but that was not mentioned. But that's okay. That's my palate. Whatever I decide to,
Exactly.
whatever I taste. But the first splash was black licorice. But and that's okay. Maybe that took something else out of the palate. But anyway, could be
Well,
the cigar or whatever.
And Jen said anise too.
Yeah,
I don't know if you heard
I
her.
got
Yeah,
it.
okay.
Yeah.
So we all can't be wrong.
It
but,
was anise that you said. Right?
Easy. So it's a ladies' night out. Okay. But no, I stick with that. I would buy a bottle. I think it's very good. I think it's very good.
It is.
I would like to learn more about
the
it.
big question, would you pay $120 for that?
Absolutely, I would.
Okay.
I paid
would. I
more
would.
money for stuff that was
Of course, I have
not
to say that,
Manhattan
because I did.
willing.
You did. Right?
So obviously I would.
I have a bottle of Alberta over there that I can't wait to give to Mark Anderson.
Hey, Tony. Hey,
But
Tony.
honestly,
That's what you're going with.
in a situation like that, I knew that I was taking a chance. So I didn't, you don't never know. But
No, right.
I'd never seen it. It was just worth a try.
I am not disappointed. I'm not
and
gonna lie to you. I'm not disappointed. Good pick.
No, and everybody, I do that all the time.
Oh yeah, you
Never
can.
heard of that? That
You
looks
never-
interesting.
sure.
Let's give it a shot. $100
gotta-
bucks. Yeah,
But when you
That's
get-
part of
my
whiskey appreciation.
Yeah.
You got to try it.
And
Absolutely.
that's a unicorn.
Try thing.
That's a unicorn bottle.
Yeah, yeah.
It really is a
Absolutely.
unicorn
That's
bottle.
really.
Okay?
I mean, you
So-
can get it, but it's not.
I mean, I'll take my chance on a unicorn.
You're not going to
bottle.
find it at Giant Eagle this weekend.
No,
you sure?
exactly.
No,
I
you're
mean,
fine.
I would. I'll take a chance on a unicorn bottle. but,
Sure.
like I said, I have a dozen bottles of where I didn't take a chance on a unicorn bottle. It was just a regular bottle. Everybody said, "Oh man, this is out. You got to try it, man. Just you can't get it anywhere now." They just introduced it to a while. Listen, I've had all those phone calls. Okay, and I would say probably 40% of the time I was disappointed. And when you're talking $100 or better a bottle, that adds up. Trust me. You have no idea what I spend it every month on whiskey.
Oh, he's not kidding.
Yeah, but that one's not going to go not undrunk, right?
Right,
So
oh,
it's
yeah.
not. It's not
It's
one of the ones that's going
very
to. You
respected.
put in the decanter trying to make it better.
That
you put
bottle's
it in
very,
the, you
it's
know.
very
Yeah,
respected.
yeah.
That bottle's
Absolutely.
very respected. I definitely, if I can get my hands on it, I'm going to buy it.
Good.
I'm
good,
not lying
good.
to you.
So, Karen,
I'm right there with you, Greg. I'm going to go with the 3.6. Wow. I think it's really, really good. And I was thinking 3.5, but I just love that first hit where
Yep.
it's smooth and silky, and
I agree.
it's just, it's a good, solid pour.
I have to say, I loved it. The thing I like best about it is the nose, and sometimes that's okay. That's one of my favorite parts about enjoying a whiskey. So, but I had in my head 3.7, and you said 3.65, and that's why I was like, oh, we're so often very close. So I'm going to go ahead and stick with my original 3.7.
All right. All right,
So
bro.
it's not something I must have on my bar, but it's something I'm happy that
I'd have it. I'd have
I'm
it.
happy that I've got a chance.
Just for the rarity. I mean, it's not a bad drink
No,
at all.
no,
It's
at
not a
all.
bad drink at all. But you know what? I would love to have that on my bar, and I'm going to look for that on my bar. So
Cool. Cool.
But
Jen?
I think you're right.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go probably with more like a 3.2. But again, my palate's a lot different. I like more of the heavy oak. I like the lick doors occasionally. So, but for me,
What
but
did you
again,
just say?
nothing.
What did she just say?
Yeah, you heard her.
But I really like that. So for me, that's just not there. But it's not bad either, right? So a 3.2 for me, I think is is where I
Okay.
wanna be at.
Respectable.
Well, that's sure.
Yeah.
That's still a good
Oh, yeah.
whiskey roundtable score.
Absolutely. And honestly, if I'd been in a whiskey store somewhere and I saw that, I'm like, what is that? I would totally buy it.
Absolutely.
Totally buy it.
Right, and it's under lock and key.
Scott, if you're still
Right?
so-
Like, you
Scott,
have to
if
buy
you're
it.
It has to be good.
Scott, if you're still listening, I'm hoping that you hook me up, brother. All right, just saying.
Oh, with some Kentucky
For
fire
this
down there,
Kentucky Bar, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, good.
All right, so what do you got, kids?
Good stuff.
We ready for the
I think it's
whiskey
time
wizard?
we have a special ladies' night edition of the Whiskey Roundtable.
And it's approximately 18, 20 minutes.
No, it's a little
16?
shorter than that. 16.
16, you said?
It's exactly the right length that it needs to be.
That's right.
There you go.
I just want to make sure that who's ever watching has an idea how
to
long it's
expect?
going to be.
But I'm on it, so you have to watch it.
Oh,
We don't, yeah, you're not suggesting.
all right. We'll see you back in 2 minutes.
You don't want to miss what's coming up. We'll see you.
We ready for the whiskey wizard?
Yeah, here
All
it
right,
comes.
kids. We'll catch you in
So
a little
long.
bit here.
See you in a
All
bit.
right.
Whiskey Wizard.
You should watch it.
It's the Whiskey Wizard.
Hello and welcome to the Whiskey Wizard, where we say that whiskey making takes scientific knowledge, an artisan's skill and dedication, and a bit of the wizard's alchemy of light, air, earth, and fire. Good evening. On the Friday before Mother's Day, it's kind of a special ladies' night on the Whiskey Roundtable. And so we're talking about women and whiskey. That's right, the whiskey industry for a lot of its history was dominated by men, as was the drinking and appreciation of it. A shot or a dram of whiskey was seen almost as a rite of passage for males and an indication of masculinity. Men gathered in smoke-filled rooms drinking whiskey is practically an iconic image of male power and success. Well, this is all changing as more and more women are not only purchasing and enjoying whiskey, but they are rising in the ranks within the world of whiskey production, marketing, and sales. In the 1990s, women preferring whiskey accounted for only about 15% of drinkers. Today, that number is estimated to be about 37% and growing fast. And we can certainly predict that the number will continue to increase for some time. Over the same time, women in key upper positions in the whiskey industry have grown from just under 10% to over 25%. C.L. Miller from Food and Wine magazine asserts that women have always been involved with whiskey production and distribution. And as she tells us, Fred Minnick says in his authoritative and entertaining book, Whiskey Women, they just never received the credit. He goes on to say that women have always had a role in the distilling process. Becky Harris, co-owner and chief distiller at Virginia-based distillery Catoctin Creek, explains that in colonial America, women were responsible for producing liquor while the men farmed. While the men engaged in still construction, it was the women, particularly out in the frontier, that managed the subsequent mashing and distillation. C.L. Miller also tells us in her article that Becky Harris and her husband Scott left their previous professions to launch Virginia-based Catoctin Creek in 2009. It was my husband's idea, Harris says. He likes to joke that working in government contracting gave him a love of drinking. Harris encourages new whiskey drinkers, especially women, she says, to trust their own tastes and not to worry so much about what the experts say. She adds, your body chemistry and your individual experience is just as valid as everyone else's. When you like something, that's the one for you. Who cares what others think? Kentucky's first female master distiller, Mary Ann Eves, was apparently given the choice between pursuing internships in renewable energy research or taking one at the Brown-Forman Distillery as part of her chemical engineering degree. She says she chose bourbon and launched a career that has been an inspiration for many young women in the industry today. When Eves showed interest in distilling, Brown-Forman gave her the opportunity. She left Brown-Forman in 2015 and joined Castle and Key on the site of one of Kentucky's oldest distilleries. She says it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to be part of the original Castle and Key team, and at age 28, she was named the Master Distiller. Eves is excited for what the future holds for ladies in bourbon and the rest of the whiskey world. She feels fortunate for all the opportunities given to her, but admits she hopes that one day being named Master Distiller as a woman will not be necessarily all that newsworthy. Then there is Ali Ochoa, whose job title is Whiskey Scientist. She joined Fort Worth, Texas-based Firestone and Robertson Distilling Company in July 2017. Ochoa became interested in whiskey when she learned about Scottish whiskeys in an undergraduate history class at Texas A&M. She got her master's in flavor chemistry and sensory science. She says her professional responsibility is to make sure everything is produced of the highest quality and taste from grain to glass. She's proud of Texas straight bourbon that she helps to produce. Ochoa says, of course, she doesn't agree that whiskey is just a man's drink. She says that whenever she tells friends that she makes whiskey for a living, they are always quite fascinated and intrigued. We agree, Allie. Whiskey is anything but boring. Also, there is Deirdre O'Carroll, who is one of the first graduates of the Jameson Graduate Distiller Program. Having studied food science and technology, O'Carroll says she became fascinated with cereals and the process of distillation. And anything you are fascinated with, you tend to be good at, she says, because you're just naturally more interested in learning about it. Of only 2 people chosen for the 2-year program, O'Carroll worked across all areas of the distillery. As blender, O'Carroll worked with master blender Billy Layton in Middleton Distillery and was responsible for the development of new blends as well as current ones. She puts together specific flavors and aromas to ultimately create the Irish Distiller's portfolio of Irish whiskeys. Deirdre is a shining example of what success looks like, Billy Layton, master blender, said in a prepared statement. O'Carroll has a degree in food science and technology from the University College Cork and a diploma in distilling from the Institute of Brewing and Distilling in Ireland. Laura Davies is the head distiller at Penderyn Distillery. Davies said that when she first started making whiskey, it was rare to see a woman at the pot still. She says nowadays the scene is completely different. We have lots more females in the technical and frontline roles. A lot more distilleries have got those females as figureheads in their businesses as well, not because they're just nice to look at, but because they know their stuff. Davies' predecessor at the Welsh whiskey maker was Gillian MacDonald, who became the head of analytics and whiskey creation at Glenmorangie. And this trend seems to be accelerating in the malt whiskey industry across the Atlantic, just as it is back here in North America. Another example is Ebony Major. As a whiskey blender for Diageo, she is one of the expert blenders responsible for brands like Bulleit, George Dickel, and I.W. Harper. Her BS in food science and technology from Alabama A&M led her to a brief term as intern, making kettle chips in Oregon. But then she heard the whiskey whispers urging her back to Louisville. After 3 years, she's certain she's found her calling with making whiskey. Okay, so there are many more examples I could talk about. There's no doubt a growing number of women are rising to key business and production roles throughout the whiskey making world. Rather than the exception, I think it's fast becoming part of how the whole industry is getting on now. And personally, I think that's great. All endeavors are more fun and engaging when we have a good mix of men and women involved. Whether it's making it or drinking it, such a mix just makes it all work better. So, I selected a couple of women fans of whiskey and of the Whiskey Roundtable show, Lauren Slater and Jennifer Boggs, to answer a few of my questions about how whiskey became a thing for them. So, when did you first try whiskey, and do you recall which whiskey it was?
I am Lauren Slater, and I am a woman who loves whiskey. The first time I had whiskey, I was 16, and my parents said I could try whatever alcohol I wanted at my cousin's wedding. And I tried every single whiskey at the table. I don't remember the full list of what was there, but I do remember that the only one I didn't like was Maker's Mark.
So the first time I tried whiskey, I was probably, 13 years old, and stole some of my dad's Jim Beam out of his liquor cabinet one summer day when the parents had left us at home alone with a girl that was staying with her aunt in the neighborhood visiting from California. So she was a little wild. She talked me into it totally. And we snuck it outside and got pleasantly tipsy, if you will. So that was my first experience with having whiskey.
When did you decide you really liked it enough to keep buying it and having it on hand?
I've bought whiskey and kept it around ever since I turned 21. In college, I was known as the girl with whiskey under her bed. I always had a bottle of 1792 or Eagle Rare at all times, and usually a couple of other bourbons as well. At the time, anything that was good but not too expensive because I was in college.
So I probably decided about 8 years ago that I actually wanted to kind of get more into whiskey and bourbon specifically. That's when I won the lottery to win UK men's basketball tickets. So we were spending a lot of time in Lexington and in the Louisville area. And of course, that's bourbon country. And so that's when we decided to really get into it and start collecting. Just like everyone, our tastes have evolved. And it's just so amazing because, the bourbon industry has just exploded over the last few years. And there's so many new distilleries, new innovations, and new finishes, all kinds of amazing bourbon out there to try.
What appeals to you most about enjoying whiskey?
My favorite thing about whiskey is that it tastes so good. Honestly, out of anything that I could have to drink, whiskey is the thing that I genuinely prefer. But in addition to that, I'd say how much beautiful variety there is. No two whiskeys taste even a little bit alike. You never get bored.
I think the thing that appeals to me most is just the tradition, right? The American tradition, and all the different tastes and flavor profiles. It's amazing how you take a simple, really formula, right? Pretty basic, and pretty basic aging process, and how you can come up with so many different flavors, so many different profiles. And I think that's what I really enjoy about bourbon specifically, is just that everyone has a different flavor profile, and we're all looking for different things because different things appeal to us. So I think that's really fun, and that's why I really enjoy bourbon whiskey.
What types of whiskey expressions or brands do you lean toward and why?
Since I've graduated from college and had enough money to buy scotch, I've discovered that I love it. My shelf right now only has a few bottles that aren't scotch whiskey. I love Isla's and the smoke and peat and intensity. I love Highlands and how sweet and rich they are. I'm currently kind of obsessed with Campbelltowns and how they're so perfectly balanced. Yeah, I don't know. It's always worth trying a new thing. I love Glenmorangie, famously, so I suppose. I really like Ardbeg for how intense and loud their flavors are. I'm actually having the Ardbeg Wee Beastie right now. Another one of my favorites right now is Kilchoman. They are the newest distillery on Islay, and they really have knocked it out of the park with their whiskeys. If you haven't tried them, you absolutely should. And Deanston. I've never had a Deanston I did not absolutely love, and maybe like 3 out of 5 of the best whiskeys I've ever had in my life were from them.
So again, bourbon whiskey is definitely my favorite. And so I really lean, Jim Beam Distillery is my favorite distillery. That was the Jim Beam Double Oak was one of my early favorites. Non-expensive bottle, but delicious. I actually just bought a bottle not too long ago to make sure I still liked it, and I do. That was also the first distillery that I ever visited, and that's where I got turned on to Booker's, which I absolutely adore. Definitely, many of the Bookers are definitely in my top 10. Also enjoyed the Bakers, enjoy the Knob Creek. Not a huge fan of regular Knob Creek, but I love some of the special editions and releases that they've put out over the last few years, for sure. And I think I just kind of lean towards bourbon and probably even the Jim Beam products because they just have, I really like that heavy oak flavor. I was the same when I used to drink red wine. I always liked the real dry reds that had that real solid, real oak flavor. That really appeals to me.
When you order whiskey out, how do you usually take your whiskey?
When I order whiskey out, I usually get it neat. If I'm trying a new scotch, I'll usually order it neat and then add an ice cube later to see if I like that particular one with an ice cube. But I don't mind a good cocktail.
Cool.
So I only drink whiskey neat. That's it. Neat. Never had a whiskey cocktail.
What, if any, whiskey cocktails do you prefer?
I love a good Manhattan. I've got to say that's definitely my favorite. An old-fashioned is amazing. A hot toddy, Irish coffee. Yeah, I love whiskey cocktails. And another thing that I like doing, at least for the less rare and less expensive whiskeys that I have at home, I like experimenting with making a particular cocktail specific to that whiskey and that whiskey alone.
So I've never, ever had a whiskey cocktail, ever. So someone needs to make me one.
Anything that you most look forward to trying that you haven't had yet?
I always want to try new whiskeys, and there's so much out there that I haven't had the chance to try yet. It's impossible to have everything, but I want to try every distillery exclusive that Deanston ever makes. And Kilchoman has a Fino Sherry cask finish that I really would like to try. And the Ardbeg, the pirate-themed Ardbeg that came out recently, I'm excited to try with Cameron and one of his friends from work soon.
So I'm always looking to try new whiskeys and new bourbons, especially I've dabbled a little bit in Scotch, thanks to you, Whiskey Wizard. And I do love a lot of the profiles there. I love that peatiness. Really enjoy that J. Riddle out of Michigan. Their peated bourbon is delicious. Currently on the hunt for anything new, but specifically out of the Bardstown Distillery. I'm definitely looking forward to finding a bottle of Piper Pavitt, probably saying that wrong, which is a sherry cask finished bourbon. They released it a few years ago and we had a couple bottles and it was absolutely delicious. And in fact, we actually were at the Bardstown Distillery late fall last year and they were just getting ready to release it. And they had some media bottles. And so we were doing a tasting and we told our tour guide that, how much we enjoyed it. So he did let us taste one of the media bottles, which was really cool. Probably the other thing that we're always on the hunt for, we really also enjoy the Jeffersons. And so they released a series a few years ago, and there's a 16-year Jeffersons that's part of their Twin Oak, which I also really enjoy. Again, that real heavy, deep wooded, oak flavor. So I'd love to get my hands on a bottle of that.
Tremendous job, Lauren and Jennifer. We really appreciate your input and support of the show. I know you've been guests and content contributors as well. Special thanks from us all here at the Whiskey Roundtable. Also, on behalf of the Whiskey Roundtable, I'd like to wish you all a happy Mother's Day weekend. Maybe Mom, if she wants to be trendy, should try an old-fashioned with her Sunday brunch instead of the typical mimosa. Just saying. This is Douglas Dunbar, the Whiskey Wizard, for the Whiskey Roundtable. Cheers, Sanjava, and now back to the live show.
That was really good. So I'm sitting here trying to watch it. We're like, oh wait, we're coming back. We gotta come back because there's like a 20-second delay between what I see and what you
Right.
guys are seeing. So
Because they hadn't really seen it yet either, so yeah, we were
Yeah.
trying to watch it. But
that is really, really good. You guys did great, Jen.
It was fun.
yeah,
Right? I love to talk about bourbon.
Good
Yes,
job.
yes.
Absolutely.
We were teasing her while we were watching. While we were watching, we were like, "How come all the bottles behind you are just about empty? It's been a long quarantine."
You're too funny.
This is why you shop when you travel,
That
right?
is exactly why, yes.
All right, kids.
That was great.
Yeah, so lots of ladies making their mark, coming up in the world of whiskey. They're expanding into realm of whiskey appreciation. More and more women whiskey drinkers out there, and they're rising as well in the ranks of the whiskey industry. So it's good to see. Good
Yeah,
to see.
absolutely.
So, Jen, during this interview process, did you learn anything about yourself with how you are with whiskeys and bourbons, or are you pretty much you are who you are, and this is what you like?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's it.
What you see is what you get.
Whenever I fall down, that's the good stuff.
That's right.
That's when I know I've had enough.
Right, exactly. But it was I like talking, about whiskey, even though I was kind of talking to myself. But that's what's fun about this, and that's why I so enjoy the Whiskey Roundtable. It's just like because you're just with friends and you're talking about whiskey, and everybody likes something different.
Sure.
And you make recommendations. I mean, it's just fun.
Yeah.
And there's so much to it, and I think that's one of the things. It's the community and just enjoying that and learning what other people like, and so yeah, it's cool.
Awesome.
Yeah. And pulling the different tastes out of it. That's one of the things that I really enjoy. And that's one of the things that I think I have learned over the 3 years now that we've been doing the show is you just get the different taste profiles that people are able to pull out. And it gives you a new appreciation when you're sharing it with different people. So
Absolutely.
I
you learn
One
so
of the
much.
things you said was how really it's kind of a simple process where you have a mash and then you distill it and then you put it in a barrel, but how much variation happens due to just the little details on what is the mash bill, how did you distill it exactly, and then when you put it into the barrels, where was that barrel located in the rick house, or how did you put that mix or blend together? So all those things end up with all this complexity of this thing we love called whiskeys.
Exactly.
And the one thing I wasn't listening to the audio at the same time, but the 1792, is that where? Oh no, I'm thinking the Jefferson's Ocean,
Yeah.
where they get on the boat.
Put it out on the vessels for
Yeah.
the whole time it's aging out at sea.
So you got the weeded.
you
Oh, I have like 10 of those. So I think the first one we had was like what, 14 or 15 is when we discovered it. Voyage 14 or 15. They just and
But I got
23
you a
came
weeded
out.
last time you
Yeah,
came,
the
and that
21's
was
a weeded.
6-7 months ago.
you
Yeah.
gave me, I think, Voyage 22,
I-
and
22
I
I gave you a weeded as
21,
well.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't, but I'm really, I don't know. I don't want.
But
I
that's
want to
what's-
taste them, but I just,
Do it.
What?
I know.
Try it to drink it.
I
What
know.
are you talking about? Weeded? Have you had it?
It's
Not
delicious.
yet. No, I haven't opened it.
I
They're
think I have a
delicious.
bottle open.
Yeah. Because that's what's so cool about that. So, and you can read about the voyage, and depending
I know.
on how many hurricanes there were,
Sure.
or the heat, or
They
you know,
talk
all,
about it, yeah.
and just
we
the
had
movement
a
of
lot
the
of
ocean.
rough seas, and
Right.
then you picture
Moving
that
that-
barrel just sloshing around. And
Moving that, yeah.
You know that has to have an effect with driving
Absolutely.
the bourbon into the wood, and
And well, you know
it's
me.
quite a concept.
Yes.
Quite a concept, And I noticed that when you take an Islay Scotch whiskey, how much the fact that barrel sat on the ocean for all those years while it aged, you can taste the ocean quality in that whiskey.
And some of those you can.
Yeah,
You almost
yeah.
just get a hint of the sea,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah.
a hint of the salt and I think that's what's so great about, whiskey, and of course, I'm partial to bourbon, but anybody can enjoy this.
Absolutely.
This is
I agree.
not, I'm not special because I enjoy whiskey neat, but you know, it's delicious, and
Well,
I
we
think that's
think
what's so fun
all
about it.
people that enjoy whiskey are special. Here on the Whiskey Roundtable.
Amen. Amen.
This is
Hey,
very
G, do you have
true.
any news?
You know, I'm going to skip news today, and I'd like to hopefully skip news today.
Unless,
and,
Doug, you've got...
unless you have something that's important, not being disrespectful.
Oh, I'll just skip it and.
Yeah, I just wanted to give a shout out to our sponsors,
Okay. Let's
and
do that.
I want you to do that, and then I want to thank the Cleveland Bourbon Co-op for Tom's Foolery.
Good stuff.
The bourbon here, and it was fantastic as well.
Can you take, because it's very unique, and I hate to ask you to do this, but I'm going to. Can you take that bottle up to the camera?
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
I really enjoyed this Tom's Foolery. I think
Yeah.
it's
It was fantastic.
Really,
It
really
was
good.
really good. I enjoyed it as well.
You guys did a great job. Very, very nice. Get that chief there. Back it up a tad. Nice. Okay. Very nice. Single barrel select.
So, the Cleveland Bourbon Co-op has been a great contributor to the Whiskey Roundtable. And those guys always are good about making sure that everybody has the picks and everything else. So, I'm hoping to have Carl and Mark and Steve Crooks on the show, at some point.
That would be
We've
fantastic.
talked about all that stuff, but
Great guys.
we have a lot of great sponsors, and sometimes we don't always mention them, even though we have their banners hanging on the walls.
Let's mention them. The Cleveland Bourbon Co-op, Royal Havana Cigars, Village Martini, Simply Greek, Low Imports, Roll and Smoke Barbecue, Chagrin Valley Beverage, 21 Staves, we talked about earlier, North Coast Jazz Ensemble, and Rawhide Firearms.
Awesome.
Yes,
Awesome.
and if you're still looking for Mother's Day dinner, go check out Village Martini Bar.
Absolutely.
I saw they were bringing in some amazing tomahawk steaks.
Amen.
If Mom is looking for a Luger, then she can check out
That's right.
Rawhide
She can eat a good
Firearms.
steak and shoot some people with a good old Ruger.
Motherhood might be a little easier that way. Get them in line.
So I appreciate everybody that watched the show. I know the show was light today, and it was a long long thing with the. I shouldn't say long. I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, but we try to improve the show every chance we get, and I hope that all you people that watch on a regular basis appreciate that as well. So
And you realize just how much room there is for improvement.
not much. But,
You know what? Though, look how far we've come. Really.
Yes, we've come a long way.
So before we end the show, is there anything on the scroll that we need to address? So that's important too. I like to interact with our people.
Let me check a lack.
So check a lack.
No,
Right tonight on the commentary.
it's been
but
very quiet
Very
tonight.
dry.
we just enthralled them so much with the
Okay.
content
All right.
tonight that they haven't
All right.
had a lot to have to say.
So, but anyway, let's roll it out, kids. Let's get out of here.
Take
All right.
us out.
All right,
We'll save the news for next time.
all right,
It's fun.
kids. We are your hosts, Big G.
Karen Helen Keller.
Doug Dunbar and our guest tonight.
Jennifer Boggs.
All
All
right,
right, folks.
all
We'll
right.
see you next week.
Amen. All right.
Oh, we
Catch you
didn't.
guys later.
Should we do our closing?
Yeah. Oh,
do
shit.
we
Why
want
are you
to-
sleeping over there?
Okay, we should.
Rewind.
So let's rewind. We did our closing, so we'll just end. We'll end it tonight with our closing quote. Since it's Ladies' Night, this comes from Ava Gardner, actress and American film star.
And married to Frank Sinatra.
Yes, she said, "You can't buy happiness, but you can buy whiskey, and that's pretty damn close."
Hey,
All right, we'll see
All right,
you guys
kids.
all next week.
Catch you next week. Thanks for watching.
Be safe.
Amen.
If whiskey stopped working, every bar in town would be closing their doors, shutting down. Everybody would be trapped with their thoughts, 'cause nothing helps the pain like bourbon or scotch. Oh no, oh no, no. If whiskey If whiskey stopped working, 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 if whiskey stopped. Poor Jack D would be out of a job. Jameson and Bean would be cut off. Hank Williams songs wouldn't make any sense. Yeah, this whole damn world would be a mess. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. If whiskey stopped working, where the hell would I be? Probably wasting lots of money trying therapy. If whiskey stopped working, what the hell would I do? Honestly, to tell you the truth, I wouldn't be over you. If whiskey stopped working, 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 if whiskey stopped. If whiskey stopped working, where the hell would I be? Probably halfway out of this town, leaving Tennessee. If whiskey stopped working, what the hell would I do? Honestly, to tell you the truth, I never get over you. Whiskey stopped